Good day, YouTube family. Today we're going to do another quick and easy recipe here from Gardening with Vincenzo. And today we're going to make some deviled eggs. And the first thing that I want to say is, in order to do your deviled eggs, you want to boil them in the water. And I'd cook them at least 8 minutes is what I think. Some people say 5. I'm going to say 8. Then what you do is you put them in the sink. Run some cold water for about 2 minutes, drain that water off, refill the pot with cold water, and let them sit there for another 8 minutes. Then what you do is you drain that water off and you put them in a stainless steel bowl, put a lid on it, and you hold the lid very tightly on each side, and you shake them up and down. That'll make it much easier for peeling. Another tip is that you put a spoonful of vinegar in the water when you're boiling them. That also will make them easier to peel. I think it has something to do with that membrane in the egg. The ingredients I'm going to use today, aside from the hard-boiled eggs, I'm going to put some Thousand Island wishbone dressing in there because that's gluten-free. Some Hellmann's real mayonnaise because that's also gluten-free. Just a little touch of the mustard in there, and that's horseradish mustard, just to give it a little bit of kick. And of course the salt and pepper. So I'm going to hand off to my cameraman, Dangerous Dan, and we're going to start this. Already I've mashed up the yolks from the eggs. They're a pretty decent consistency. If I was really concerned about making them creamier, I'd put them in my handy dandy food processor. But for today, I'm not going to worry about it. I'll grab a spoon here. Whoops, small spoon. Get a big one. There we go. Alright. So what we're going to do is, the first thing that we're going to do, give it a good shake up. This is a brand new bottle. The Thousand Island dressing adds a little bit of like sweet and sour, just a little bit of zing into the traditional deviled eggs. I'm going to put probably about 2 teaspoons. I'll call that 2 teaspoons. And I'm just going to put a little bit of the horseradish in there. Not too much because some people don't like the zing, but just a couple drops. And add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Layer in the flavor, and you've heard me say that before. And I'm going to start with 1 big heaping teaspoon of the mayonnaise. And now we're going to mix this up and see what kind of a consistency we get. Everybody has their own version of the deviled eggs. This one is mine. Oh, that's a good consistency. Kind of caught that pretty good. Yeah, that's terrific. That's terrific. And since we added a little bit of the Thousand Island dressing, we probably have added maybe a carb or 2. And now the finished product, to give it some color, just maybe a tablespoon of ketchup. That'll also add a couple carbs into the mixture, but I like that reddish color. And it sweetens it up too. Yeah, that looks pretty good. It's nice and creamy. Again, I'm doing this over the sink. Yeah, the less mess you make, the less you have to clean up. And I'm using my cutting board, which as I said, I discovered actually fits quite nicely. Take a small spoon, about a teaspoon, start to fill them babies up. I like to cover a good bit of the egg, not just the whole. Sometimes it doesn't come out perfect, but then again, you're going to eat these. This isn't for company, or else I'd put them in a bag and put a little slit in the bottom of the bag and I'd actually squeeze them out. And if you wanted to top these, if you had some bacon, what you could do is just cook that bacon, let it cool, crumble it and sprinkle it on top. And then if you wanted to do the traditional, you take a pinch of paprika and you'd sprinkle it on the top just for a little bit of color, some eye appeal. I had more eggs, but the lid slid off when I was shaking them up and down. You got to hold that lid tight, and they hit the floor, so we got a little bit more yolk than the recipe calls for. So we're going to make these pretty thick there. And that's about all. So we got a little bit extra. I'll give that to Dangerous Dan here because he loves deviled eggs, and so does his son, Braden, my grandson. And this was another request dish. So again, pretty easy, quick and easy. And let me just take the camera now, Dan. Give you a shot of the finished product. They filled them in very nicely. There you go. Looking good. And I'm going to actually try one right now, although they're way better off when they're cold. Oh my God, they're good. All right, there you go. Quick and easy deviled eggs. Another video by Gardening with Vincenzo in the kitchen again. Alrighty, we'll see you guys. Have a good day. Remember, we can save this planet 1 yard at a time, beginning with your own. Till then, till next time.